All right. Whew. I'm back, you guys. Good morning. Everything looks different, right? I changed my office around. I got a new desk. It's crazy. Hold on a second. I need to get my crystals. Woo! Okay. Whew. It's gonna take me a minute to get feeling normal here, but whew. All right, what's going on? Let's see what's happening, friends. Hi, Olivia. Let me pull back here for a second and see who I've missed. Hi, Jen. Hi, Christine. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Charlene. Good morning, Nicole. Hi, Kate. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, Anna. Hi, Jen. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Denise. Hi, Lori. Um, so Charlene says, or is your name Charlene or Charlie-Ann? You tell me. The threes are throwing me off. Is anyone else feeling funky in this portal energy today? Hi, Erin. Good morning. Hi, Janelle. Hi, Christine. Hey, everybody on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. Get my boobs back in here. Whew. Yes. So, wow. Let's get into it, right? Charlie is my birth name. Okay, good. Um, this is a really weird energy right now. Okay. I thought it was just me, but it's not. It's not just me. Um, and I think that it would have been just the same if I hadn't, left the country for a few days. I don't think that's reentry at all. Um, so I'd love to hear from you guys. You're feeling funky, but I'm also interested to hear how your emotions are feeling. Like, what are you connecting to and what are you not connecting to? What do you feel connected to and what do you not feel connected to right now? I guess is my question. Nicole says she feels buzzy and really floaty. Christine's exhausted and doesn't feel like doing anything. Good morning, Victoria. Good morning, Jennifer. Hi, Holly. Holly says, yes, definitely feeling funky. Ali says, excluded from a block party and found out a friend is moving away. Double whammy. Oh my God. That's shitty. Cassie says she feels untethered. Jen says, connected to this beautiful weather. Me too. MJ says, feeling sensitive. Nothing I don't feel connected to. Stephanie's also feeling very disconnected. Using more crystals. Tired and no connection to anything. Time is weird, very warpy. Also feeling floaty and ungrounded. Okay. Holly says, my emotions seem to finally be settling down, feeling more calm and peaceful. Jennifer says, I'm okay, but just feel like a disconnect. Okay. So let's talk about the disconnect because I'm feeling that way too. It's a really like I tried to make a post about it yesterday, but I wrote the whole post out and then I was like, meh, who cares? And I just deleted it. But I'm feeling very much like there's a separation between me and like the rest of the world. if that makes sense. Like I'm seeing the things that are happening and but I'm not feeling them the way that I normally would feel them, which that's been that's been a trend anyway, just feeling things differently. But that disconnection is interesting because I'm not disconnected from my emotions. I'm not disconnected from my life. But I do feel like I'm in a place where it's almost like I'm watching the movie around me. And it's not even a movie I'm super invested in. Like I'm like, like it's not like I'm like, ooh, I gotta binge this series. It's more like, oh, well, there's that episode, and that feeling is really interesting as I find myself feeling more real in other spaces in my life. Okay. And so if you guys are, oh my God, my son is like sneezing so hard right now. If you guys are feeling that too, it stands to reason that we're really shifting into that space, right? That space of um, the whole world's about to implode. And oh my goodness, hold on a second. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. I thought someone's running at me. But anyway, we're moving into that space of separation and that split energy even more. It feels like it's becoming much more pronounced where like the whole world is going to literally implode, but we're not imploding. And that makes sense with what we've been saying and all the channeling that's been coming through. We're really preparing to hold that space. And in order to hold that space, you can't be flying off the hook, right? So it makes sense. It's just really, I think it's really interesting to feel this way, and to be in this space and to allow oneself to be in this space. Because usually you pull yourself into a space of like dragging your energy down because you feel like that's the right thing to do. It's like there are bad things happening in the world. I need to know about them, not only know about them, but I need to empathize. I need to be in that space with the things. And we're no longer doing that anymore. And it also feels like, especially since last weekend's channeling, that I feel like I'm looking around me at all of these things that I used to think were very immutable facts about life. And I'm like, who said that's true? Who said this is how we do things? Like nothing makes sense like that anymore. And it all seems very like silly. Some of it seems really fucking silly that like we've been like building our whole lives around certain principles that like literally don't make any sense like at all. And so I'm curious if you're feeling that too, just like looking around you and being like, I don't think so. I don't think that makes any sense. But at the same time, what are you connecting to? Because I'm feeling very much the connection of my choices and the like overwhelming joy of making my choices and being able to feel that energy. And that has been wild. Like, I can see and feel that my life around me is shifting and changing based on the way I'm reacting to it. And as a result, a lot of the things I've seeded over the past couple years are suddenly popping up now, like right now. It's like there was some sort of kink in the hose. There was a kink in the hose. And this past week just vroom, fixed it right up. And now everything's starting to flow much better. And a lot of the noise, the dissonant noise, is moving out of our fields. And I think that's also what it feels like to, not be connected like that to the collective energy. And there's another way to phrase not being connected to the collective energy. You're unplugging from the matrix, right? Because being connected to collective energy is the same thing as being plugged into a matrix. And being disconnected from it means you're choosing what affects you and what doesn't affect you, as opposed to the program choosing. And I think that's the shift we're all experiencing right now. It's pretty exciting. Let me read this comment from Jen. Jen says, the question you asked last week, what did you learn in Mercury retrograde, and do you believe it? Really connecting to this idea of things are not at all like I thought they were. Yeah, it's wild. MJ says, I feel that I have a lot more control over my reactions. Kate says, people who don't allow me to be me have been falling away. Absolutely. Gab says, first time awake in time to tune in. Thank you for sharing. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you made it. Um, it's really exciting, you guys. So I think that I've been trying to find words for the things lately. This week has just been like, oh my God, I like talking, but I'm trying to find specific words for things. And it's this feeling of you say something's going to happen, right? And we talk about it and talk about it and talk about it for years, right? And then it actually happens. And after talking about something for so long, what does it feel like in your body to realize it's actually happening? And I think that's where I'm at now, where I'm like, I'm feeling in my body that this is actually happening. And it's like really exciting. It's really confusing. It's mind blowing. The synchronicities lately are so on the nose anymore that it's like, wow, like it's crazy. And again, you are. I know this. Free your spirit says words have been hard for me too lately, and I'm a writer. Exactly, exactly. Like, and that's why I'm having trouble with my Instagram. I'm not having trouble with it, but like, I I don't feel like when I put the words down, they're what I'm trying to say. I feel like I do a better job if I just spaghetti at you guys with my voice. But I actually learned something about myself. Again, you know, always learning something about oneself. But I learned something about myself over the past week, which is my way of understanding truth and like what truth is for me and how do I find it. Some people have like that gut reaction, some people have to make lists, like everybody has their way, right? And my way is I actually have to say it with my like voice. Like I have to say all the things, and then when I say it, I'll hear the true thing. So my struggle this week has been figuring out how to pull out the true thing and just share that, as opposed to the whole buffet of random shit that's going to come out of my mouth at any point in time. But I feel like you've been with me for a minute, most of you, so you kind of know that's what I do anyway. But it feels like I keep talking, and the more that I talk, something will come through and then I'll feel it. I'm like, "Ooh, that's the true thing. That's the true thing. We're going to go with that." And so I've been really speaking more, even just to myself out loud, and writing less because it's for some reason that's not connecting the way it used to. So I don't know. It's things are really changing energetically, and we're just kind of along for that journey at this point and seeing how things shift. And it makes sense that they would shift because we're going through such a drastic energetic shift, you know what I mean? So all exciting things, my friends. And the weather here in central Pennsylvania is like, wow, it's just the most delicious, wonderful thing. I had a really good weekend. um, but I also wanted to take a minute to say this before we get to um, the cards this morning. It's Pride Month. And as most of you know, I'm super gay. Um, and I have a story about that. And last year during Pride Month, I shared my story on YouTube. And this month, I'm having like, there is a block for me for doing any type of like Pride Month social media type thing. And like, every business is out there doing like all of their pride stuff. And that's, you have your thoughts on it. Um, and I was asking myself that question, like, what is it for me that is making me feel like I really don't have something to say right now about that? And I think part of it is that I'm so busy in the living of it right now that it's hard to kind of pull outside of it, I guess. But I do want to talk a little bit about that because I remember how I felt when I had that realization that I actually am very attracted to women. And I had that first experience. And I remember going home and just like, I was very happy, obviously, but also I was horribly sad. And I was horribly sad for a few reasons. One, that anybody in the whole world would ever be deprived of feeling that type of connection and alignment within themselves because they fear that they're going to be ostracized, feel like they're going to have their work threatened, their families threatened, their life threatened, bodily harm done to them, all of the things. It made me feel so heavy to think that anybody would ever not be able to experience that due to those factors. And then the other heaviness was how easy it was for me to make that choice. It was a choice for me to explore that for myself. Not a choice for me to be gay, but what I'm saying is it was easier, so much easier for me because it was more of an emotional situation than it was I have to fear for my safety or my livelihood or, my family disowning me. And that made me feel really heavy too. But then it also made me feel really appreciative. And so for me, when I think of Pride Month, I think of appreciation. It's appreciation for all of the people who came before me that made it possible for me to feel safe, to open up and express who I am and to live my authentic truth without having to go through so much pain and trials and tribulations. And I don't know how to fully express that right now in a post, so I'm just not gonna do it. But I feel it does need to be said. It's not a month. It's life. It's us being actual human beings and connecting to each other and not being such dicks because that's really what all of this is about. It's about seeing something that's different than you and saying, I'm scared of that. That threatens me. I must attack it. Doesn't matter what it is. We do it on the macro level and the micro level. We are notorious for it. And that's the shift we're making now. So as we move out, out of this like old, stodgy, matrixy paradigm, we're moving into a place where I think we're going to find, in a few years' time, especially I look at like my kids are 8 and 10, they don't see gender and sexuality the way that we did. They're not are going around being like, oh, why does that girl look like a boy? They move in and out. They are a generation that's very much used to expressing themselves however they fucking want to. And I love that. And so moving outside the boxes, right? Moving outside the labels, but also having so much honor and pride to be a part of a community of people who has fought so hard to simply exist and simply love each other. And that's where I'm feeling we're going as a society as we completely deconstruct and reconstruct, where we don't have to have special months to celebrate freedom of expression. We don't have to have that. We just live that every single day. So I wanted to say that and happy pride to all of you. And, we'll see how this month goes with all of the things, but I'm feeling all that love because it's been, I don't know, how long has it been? 3 years now for me that I've been out. And I would say this is the year that I am most myself without feeling like I need to hide parts of it. And while there are times right now where I'm very unhappy because, shit gets crazy around here, I'm still living in a very wild situation. I'm really fucking happy to be able to be myself. And I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you for being along this ride with me. I know some of you have been here with me for the whole ride, and I'm just very appreciative of that. And the support is amazing, and that's why we need community and connection. So I love you. Okay, let's jump into the cards for the week. I'm interested to see what occurs. We're gonna do crystals again. I need a little bit more of this coffee. I have not done a good job this morning on that. Where is that crystal that wanted to come out? Here it is. Okay, so we got this one. This one. Okay, so the third one, I don't know what it is. So I can't remember. Someone told me when they gave it to me, but I do not remember. So we're just going to call it, we're going to give it a name. Okay, so Enjoy it. All right. So if you're new, Coffee and Magic, this is sensory card pulls. I'm going to show you 3 different crystals. Choose the one you feel most aligned with today to get your message. The first one is an agate. And I believe this one, when I purchased it, they called it an ocean agate, but it's so milky. Do you see that? It's so milky and delicious. Just like, I haven't held this crystal in a while. So this is the first one. We're just going to call this the agate, okay? That's your first choice. So agate. We've got the tangerine quartz. Okay. And then we have the third one that I don't know which one it is, but it's this one. I mean, it looks a little bit like labradorite, but it's not. It has like these beautiful fuchsia ruby inclusions. So we're just going to call this the ruby wand, okay? So this is the third one. So take a look at it, feel into it, see how that crystal makes you feel. Hi, Kalik. I met Kalik on vacation in Mexico last week. It's not fluorite. It's very earthy. We're just going to call this one whatever I just said. Did I say the ruby? Is that what I said? Okay. So again, from the beginning, you're going to choose one of these 3. This is the agate, tangerine quartz, ruby wand. Which one's calling to you today? It might be ruby. So that's not the name it was, though. It was something else, but it definitely has ruby in it. So agate, tangerine quartz, ruby wand. Which one are you feeling today? Obviously, you can pick more than one if you want to, but really feel into it. Okay, and I need to shuffle. So you guys think about that. All right, let's see what we got. By the way, what do we think about this? Do we like it? I have a whole new desk set up and it goes up and down so I can stand. I put a fucking treadmill underneath it as well. You wouldn't even believe it. I don't even know what I'm doing over here, but all I know is I need to move more because this energy needs to move through this body or I'm going to lose my mind. So I'm trying to help myself. Okay. Okay. Definitely have better lighting this way because I'm actually in front of a window now, so I can when I'm standing up, I can see out into the front lawn, which is actually nice. It feels less cave-like for me, even though I do love a cave. So new energy. All right, friends, did you put your things? It's agate, tangerine quartz, ruby wand. All right, here we go. Okay. All right. The first one is the agate. Okay. And here we go. Here's your story. I'm pulling, as always, from the Wisdom of Avalon deck from Colette Baron Reed. So our first is the mystery. You know my story about this card. It's all crinkly because I got so mad at it. The eagle and the butterfly. So let's see what your story is for my agate people. As always, listen to everything and take what resonates and leave what doesn't. All right. So we're going to start with the annoying card, which is the mystery. This is the card in the deck that I've told you this story before, I know, where I've had this deck for a long time. This is my first deck ever. Um, and I got so angry because I kept getting this card and it basically says like, trust the journey, trust the mystery. And I was like, fuck that. I would like a clear answer. And I got it so many times that one day I just crinkled it up and threw it. And then I felt really bad and I put it between two sheets and I ironed it and it looks pretty good now, but it just reminds me of how I lack patience sometimes. So the mystery is here for you. Are you feeling that way? Do you want to tear this card up and throw it around? Because you're right there. You are right there. This is the time where we do lose patience, where we do feel frustrated because we've been doing for so long, right? So if you chose agate, here's the encouraging, annoying message for you. Trust the process. Trust it. You don't have to, but if you don't, you're just going to drive yourself crazier. So this is your invitation to trust what's unfolding for you because it's unfolding for a reason. You also have the eagle and the butterfly. And the eagle is going to be the, the strongest, most sovereign bird energy you're going to get from this deck. Okay. This is master of the sky energy, friends. Okay. Pulling the mystery and this card together, my agate people, you are unstoppable. The only thing that can stop you is your own self-doubt and lack of belief in yourself, which is the same thing. I just said it two ways. You see that? Sometimes you need to hit. That is it. Nothing else can stop you. Nothing else can touch you. The butterfly is here, not to remind you of metamorphosis, because I don't really subscribe to that one either. This one's here to remind you of the beauty that exists in so many moments in your current life and in your current day. And it reminds you to find them, hold them, sip them, enjoy them as they are with you in that moment. The more you do that, the more you get. Okay? It's like this amazing cup of beauty that is just sitting there waiting for you to take a sip and to savor it and to enjoy it. It's here right now. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to go do some 12-step, 15-step plan to find it. It's here. It's like literally here right now. Your joy, the perfect joy, the beauty, the immense gratitude of being. It's all here right now for you in the smallest things and in some bigger things. So go tap in and enjoy them, right? Don't just talk about it. Go be about it. All right. So that is your agate story for this morning. If you're just joining us, you missed agate, but you're in time for tangerine quartz or ruby wand. Oh, thank you, Lulu. Hi, Emily. Hi, Rebecca. It's making me distracted. Wave, wave, wave. Okay, so next up, tangerine quartz. My Lord, that's a different vibe. Always is. Okay, more coffee. All right, so if you chose tangerine quartz, let's talk about it. You've got the king, you've got restriction, and you've got risk. Did we do this already? Don't you feel like we did this already really recently, these two? Risk and restriction, the two R's. And then we got, all right, let's dig into this because my happening, huh? This feels very, it's first quarter moon. Okay, this is very situational. And I think we've already talked about this too. I think if you were with me last time, whenever we did the last Coffee and Magic, I think we did talk about this situation. All right, so restriction and risk. The king is coming through with this masculine energy. And we need to talk about what it means to have masculine energy because it's a conversation we really can't have enough of at this time because nobody understands what it means to be a man because we've had no examples of that at all. All we've had is toxic patriarchy, and that's not manly. We're pulling in divine masculine energy. It's coming through for everybody right now, and it feels weird because we don't understand it. But this is coming through now, and it's time to allow it to move through us and for our bodies to embrace it, for our energies to embrace it, for you to embrace it. What does it mean to have masculine energy that is both balanced and healthy within your system? What does it feel like? Everybody, regardless of their gender, is going to have a specific and unique balance of masculine and feminine energy. Those balances change throughout the day and they change throughout your life and in different situations. There are some times in your life or some things you do in your life that you will adopt a very masculine energy in order to accomplish. And there are other things in your life that you will step into a more feminine energy in order to interface and accomplish with those things. That is all this is. It's a giving and a receiving energy. When this king card is coming up now, I want you to really ask yourself, what do you believe is true, pure, divine masculine energy? What does that look like? What does it feel like? And I stress to you again, we don't really know the answer to this. That's why you have to ask and allow the feeling to come. Okay? Ask and allow the feeling to come and continue to ask because we need to populate this. We need to think about it. What does it mean to have divine masculine energy? What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Restriction and risk are coming through right now because just like with the first card, we are all right there. We're in it. This is happening right now. It's game time. And there's a part of you that is still stuck in a program that is telling you all the reasons why you can't do what you're literally about to do or already doing. And you're hearing a lot of chatter, a lot of self-doubt coming through, a lot of just stuck feeling. Okay? It's kind of like that. When you feel that stuck feeling, that restriction, when you feel that stress, just remember all of these things are in perception, right? It's kind of like a video game. And when you're like when you zoom in too close and you're in there and you get stuck like on a wall and you're like, I need to get away from this wall, but you can't because you keep turning like this and it just doesn't go anywhere. But if you were to completely pull out a little bit, then you would see, oh, there's plenty of places for me to turn. I just have to see a bigger perspective. And that's where you're at now. Take a freaking break. Be easy on yourself. And just remember, we get so caught up in what's the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. And those things don't exist. So you are getting caught up in a fantasy that's turning into a nightmare because you're so afraid to make the wrong decision. What do you think is going to happen if you make the wrong decision? And who, please tell me, who is saying what the right decision is for you, if not you, right? Is it your mom? Is it your dad? Is it an uncle? Is it the government? Like, who is telling you what the right decision is? And do you trust them to be giving you that information, right? If I'm taking advice from somebody about what to do with my own life, they better sure as shit be living a life that I'd be wanting to live. Otherwise, I don't feel like I need to be taking advice from them. You need to think about that for yourself. Whose program is running in your brain if it's not yours? And do you believe it? Okay? This is all perception. That was a lot of concepts in this pull. I'm just going to leave it right there. That's your tangerine quartz. All right. Last up. Is it possible that these can come through for other people to help them? That what can come through for other people? Hi, Renee. Also, hi, Janine. Ali says, my takeaway is masculine energy needs to incorporate emotion more. That is a chat and a half. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night for sure, if you want. Oh my God, I can't wait for workshop. Feels like it's been forever. Oh, this particular reading as it resonates with someone else that I'm close to. So you know what I would say, MJ, because this actually brings up a really important thing that I think we need to talk about all the time, which is energetic consent and using our empathy and intuition in a consensual way, right? So I think it's totally fair to send this video to a friend and say, there were things in here that really resonated for me. Maybe you'll enjoy it. For me, ethically, unless somebody has said to me, I'm looking for guidance on XYZ, I would never want to give them that, you know what I mean? But I think, handing over the container and saying, like, here, this might be interesting to you, doesn't make sense. And it makes sense to me that it would resonate with other people as well, because this is very collective. These readings, the Coffee and Magic readings, are very collective. I will say that those of you who I'll explain this the best that I can. Those of you who are with me for Coffee and Magic regularly, um, a thing does happen with us here, because I do, like, I feel my people is what I'm saying. So if you're part of the Inner Sanctum community, we connect so very much that when I tap in a collective like this, and so many of you are here, I do feel all of you. And that actually feels really good to me, because all of your energies are literally the best. But it's something that I do notice is happening even in these like collective readings. So the more that you join Coffee and Magic, the more that we connect in this way, I think the more spot on the energies will be for you, because I will be feeling you over and over and over again, if that makes sense. Like, we develop a relationship and a connection. I have definitely noticed that. But yeah, we're going to talk a lot this month about energetic consent, emotional consent, using your intuition for good, not evil, and all of those things. And I don't have time to dive into a whole thing this morning, but for this Wednesday, guys, I actually even wrote it down on paper for that to be a topic that I love to explore with you on Wednesday, unless something big comes through that you need to. Oof. Okay. All right. Sorry. Distracted. Moving on to the third one. Ruby wand. Janelle says, yeah, that is the projector in me. I do need to be invited. And Janelle says, my energy is usually 24 hours behind Sarah. She's a great barometer for me. I do find, I find that for my friends too. Like, and that's why it's so good for us to connect this way. So, you know that when I like completely lose my shit, you can prepare yourself so you don't lose yours. Okay. Ruby wand, wind fairy, the queen, and the stag. Wow. So we had the king and the queen this morning. Not shocking. Let's talk about this guy first, because this one's come up a few times. Again, this is the ruby wand, but quite frankly, like, again, if you are listening to the readings and something resonates, is great. Okay? So, stag. This is going to be how you walk into a room. That's all this is. How are you walking into a room? And I want you to think about this today, each and every single one of you. Where are you right now? Are you sitting down? Are you drinking coffee? Like, what are you doing? When we're done here this morning, and you like get up from where you are and you walk into another space, I want you to think about how you're walking into that space. Do you walk in like this? How are you walking into rooms? Walk into rooms like you own the rooms, not in a bad way, but like you're walking with your posse of energy, because you are. You have a literal posse of energy all around you. You've got groupies, okay? Walk into a room with your energetic groupies. There's no room in this world that you cannot walk into that way. And when you do that, you command respect. You command the energies, and you will likely be the most dominant energy in that room. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a very, very good way. Okay? The stag is asking you to consider that. Even just walking from like the office into the kitchen. How are you walking into that room? Shoulders back, friends. Do not hide your heart centers. I get this. This is protecting. This is protecting your heart because you're afraid of being hurt. This is you going like this, right? But you don't need to do that anymore. Remember, your groupies got your back. You have your whole posse. They are so into you and they are all around you. And you need to walk like this. Open it up, push those boobies out if you have them, open that heart center. You don't prevent yourself from getting hurt by hiding your heart. It's not a real thing. So open it up. Open it up. We need this big, open, soft, and ready. Okay? That's what she said. Okay. Let's move on to the queen. So similarly to the king energy is the queen, which is divine feminine energy. And you might think, oh, it's only the masculine energy that's been all fucked up and we don't know what it is. But that's wrong. Patriarchy is equal opportunity for fucking up the things. So now you're going to ask yourself the question, what does it mean to embody divine feminine energy? What does that mean? Ask, 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 ask. Let the answers come to you. We are finding new ways outside of toxicity to exist in these spaces. Okay? And then you have the wind fairy, which is a nod to Gemini season. And I know all of my Gemini friends, anybody with any Gemini placements at all, are really feeling the brain going a mile a minute, even more than usual. Although some of you are actually slowing down, but that's another story. That's much more complicated. But I say that to say this is the season, 'tis the season for a million ideas. And what is the question you have when you have a million ideas? Oh, what's the idea that I should follow? And my answer to you, don't fucking worry about it. Just let the ideas come. You don't always have to make something out of everything. Right now is let it come in, let it drop in. When something requires action, you will feel a compulsion. Follow it. Boom. Okay? You don't need to seek. You don't need to move forward like this with your body. Stay in the present moment. Stay just like this. Don't lean back too far. Don't lean forward too far. Just stay right here in the present moment. Let it come to you. React when it is here and respond when you feel the compulsion. Okay? And otherwise, just enjoy the flood of all of your little ADHD. Brrr. Enjoy it. It's magic. It's your superpower. Bring it all in. Okay? That is your ruby wand for this morning. Guys, I'm so glad to be back with you. I feel like the last Coffee Magic I did on Friday or whenever that was, I really wasn't myself, but I feel like I'm more me today. So I'm glad to be back connecting with you. I love you so much. If you're new here, make sure you're following me on Instagram and make sure you hop on my profile and get on the mailing list because that is going to be the most consistent way to figure out when I've changed times for things, which I do all the time. I will never do anything that I don't want to do. So I just want you to know that, even with my business. So, I just can't. So the energy has to be right. So I change things all the time. So get on my mailing list. There's a lot of things coming up. The Normalized Magic membership is open for applications right now. That membership is the best. If you're an OG or BFF, ignore all the things. You're already in it. I'm just changing names again. But we're bundling everything together. So if you want to learn more about the Normalized Magic membership, go ahead and send me a DM. I'll send you some information, and I will put a post in my IG stories as well that you can learn more about it. There's a trial for it. It's a lot of good stuff. I hope you have an amazing Monday. If you missed any of this, you can watch it on my IGTV or on my YouTube. And if you missed last week's channeling, it's on YouTube. Go look at that. That's important, okay? Have an amazing Monday. Don't forget how we walk into rooms with the posse. Bye, friends.